Welcome back, everyone, to the Valley's most in-depth, geeky weather forecast video. It's appropriately called Weather for Weather Geeks on this Monday evening. What a change over the last 7 days across the valley. At this time last week, we were talking about abnormally cool weather. Today, it was stinking hot out there. Last week at this time, we had a high of 67 degrees. Today's high was 89. And when you factor in the humidity, the heat index was, of course, even higher than that number. The heat index at the airport actually peaked late this afternoon at 92. I think we'll see heat index values in the middle 90s, even upper 90s, close to 100 over the next couple of days. So the air mass has done a real changeover here over the last couple of days, a few days, I should say, since that comfortable air that we had at the end of last week. And, you know, if you think it's bad here, check out what's going on across the Corn Belt. Now, the heat index in a lot of Iowa is in the triple digits, just about everywhere, in fact. And some of these heat index values have been as high as 110 to 115 this afternoon. This is mostly due to what we call corn sweat. All the corn that's out here across, appropriately called the Corn Belt, a process called evapotranspiration, or the release of moisture from all that corn creates dew points that are super, super high, and when the sun is out and air temperatures are in the 90s, you're going to get heat index values that look like this. Pretty extreme stuff. The actual dew points, you know, it's always amazing to see a dew point above 80 degrees, and we've seen that most of the afternoon in places like Dubuque and Sioux City, even the Twin Cities, Minneapolis, well up to the 70s, Des Moines, Iowa, the dew point's 76. Here early this evening, Green Bay, Wisconsin, a gross 78-degree dew point early this evening. Now, there's no thunderstorms to cool a lot of those places off as we speak, although that can change before the night is through. There's some thunderstorms rolling through parts of the Dakotas and Minnesota this evening, but in a lot of places that are sweltering with those heat index values around 110, there's not a drop of rain to cool those places off. All right, here we are. It's that week. It's Canfield Fair Week, getting set to kick things off on Wednesday, and Wednesday's forecast high of 92, if that verifies, it would be the hottest day at the Canfield Fair since 2011, when we had a high of 93, one of the days of the fair that year. Last year, our warmest temperature was on Labor Day. It started out pretty comfortable and then got hotter as the fair wore on last year. We're going to have kind of the opposite thing this year. But anyway, 89 on Labor Day last year. And we had a 91 back in 2018. That was a hot Canfield Fair back in 2018. So the weather's certainly going to be impactful for anyone working or attending the fair for the first few days. Now, when we look at rain chances, they're going to be pretty low during the daylight hours on Wednesday, and not super high yet on Thursday. Even during the daylight hours Friday, we're not looking at much more than probably an isolated afternoon thunderstorm. The better rain chances in most locations probably come actually Friday night into Saturday morning. That's when our cold front approaches. That's the front that's going to knock back the heat and humidity for the rest of the Canfield Fair Sunday and Monday. Notice the expected weather impacts here are low, and I think the fair's going to end on a very nice note this year, but it's going to be a little touch and go for a few days. Certainly, everyone needs to take it easy, just stay hydrated and find some shade if you can. Now, thunderstorm chances over the next few days, they're not zero, but they're pretty low. Now, tomorrow's severe weather risk from the Storm Prediction Center does highlight a level 2 slight risk up towards the lakeshore and up into Michigan. I think this is probably drawn a little bit too far to the south. I think the better chances for severe weather are certainly up towards central and northern Michigan, parts of Wisconsin as well. Maybe trying to get down to I-90, but I think even that's a little bit of a stretch. And in our viewing area, in the greater Youngstown area, I just don't think much happens during the daylight hours for tomorrow. Now, tomorrow night late, towards daybreak Wednesday, there probably is going to be some sort of decaying line of showers and storms that might even just miss us completely, or may just graze us, especially our northern viewing area. But I think it's going to be decaying. I don't think that's a big severe weather risk coming with that. Again, that's late tomorrow night into first thing early Wednesday morning. Here's one model depiction of things over the next few days, showing some showers and storms tomorrow morning rolling through Detroit. That kind of fades away, and again, we're just hot and humid during the daylight hours on our Tuesday. That decaying line of showers and storms modeled to go like this. Here we are at 1, 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. This is probably a model that looks a little more intense than a lot of the other modeling, to be honest. But it's possible that we're going to have some rumbles of thunder and some rain at times late Tuesday night when most of us are in bed, and I kind of think this is probably overdone looking on this particular model. Now, as we get into the daylight hours on Wednesday, I think the daylight hours are again, mostly sunny and dry, and the heat index value getting close to 100. Thunderstorms are going to try to fire Wednesday afternoon, but the model trends have been for a lot of this activity to try to stay to our south, a little more towards I-70 and south into southern Ohio, West Virginia. This is a low confidence idea at this point as to the exact placement of things Wednesday afternoon, but I think odds are favoring most of Wednesday here locally in our viewing area. Most of the day being dry. This front kind of stalls out. Now with this front not far to our south, maybe there's a renegade shower or storm Thursday. The heat and humidity trimmed a little bit behind this first front on Thursday, just a little bit though. It's not a clean sweep per se. The bigger change is coming our way Saturday afternoon into Saturday evening. That's the stronger cold front that is heading our way. So let's talk about that change coming at the end of the week. Now for high school football Friday evening, this may be kind of a close call. Here's, again, just one model depiction showing a lot of the activity probably trying to hold off until after football. There's not great model agreement on that idea. So for week 2 of high school football, at this point, we're going to allow for at least the chance that some places could be impacted by a shower or a thunderstorm. I think that the rain chances will be pretty elevated then overnight into Saturday morning. But I like the timing for the rest of the weekend. I think the models, are coalescing around an idea here that could be a little unsettled through maybe lunchtime on Saturday, but by the end of the afternoon into the evening, the air mass is going to be drying out. It's going to be a lot more comfortable. It should be a great evening Saturday. A fantastic Sunday coming up with a little bit of a breeze. Maybe there's a renegade shower Sunday night with a secondary cold front. But confidence on that's pretty low at this point. And then I think as we go into Labor Day itself on Monday, we're looking really, really nice. In fact, this is another big air mass change that's coming our way in the medium range. This is today's 6 to 10 day outlook from the Climate Prediction Center, showing odds favoring cooler than average temperatures from Labor Day through at least the middle portions of next week. Now, does it look as cool as it was last week? No. I don't think we'll have highs in the 60s, but a few days with highs in the lower and middle 70s, sure, that'll feel pretty nice after the kind of stifling heat and humidity that we're dealing with this week. And I'll show you the precipitation outlook as well, because I think this is likely going to be not only a cooler period, but a drier period as well. Once we lose the raindrops this weekend, I think we're going to string together several dry days in a row, taking us into next week. So I think next week is going to be really, really pleasant post-Labor Day, or even starting on Labor Day. But until then, we're going to be dealing with a thunderstorm threat here and there, and maybe some interesting things to talk about for high school football this week, and maybe a damp start to our Saturday. But then beyond that, I think we're looking pretty good. So, of course, we're going to keep you updated on the Canfield Fair forecast and much, much more on future editions of Weather for Weather Geeks this week. Thanks for watching on this Monday evening. I'll see you back here same time, same place on Tuesday.